tonight, makasama natin si Sister Cho para pag-usapan natin yung nangyari nung EDSA, People Power Revolution, and more importantly, kung ano yung nangyari pagkatapos, no? 40 years ang nakalipas, bakit tayo nandito? Bakit tayo nakasadlak sa ganitong sitwasyon? Ngayon, wag kayong magtaka siguro na marami akong sinasabi ngayon dahil siguro naatasan ako ni Sister to help her summarize for everyone her experience during the 1986 revolution. Kasi actually yung storya ni Sister Cho, it is a very parang ang pampelikula, no, Sister? Parang pampelikula yung kaniyang experience. Sister Cho was at EDSA White Plains. Tama ba, Sister? At that time?
Yeah. Where the People Power move, di ba yung People Power Monument is?
Okay. Correct. Oo. Where the People Power Monument is, no? And nung time na yon, Sister Cho was there from February 22 to 25, no? Yung buong 4 na araw, hindi po ba?
Yes.
And at that time, Sister Cho was with the Franciscan Missionaries of Mary, and they went there every day during the Bloodless Revolution. And ang hindi ko malilimutan dun sa kwento ni Sister, ang sabi niya, they thought they were gonna die. Sister, nag-fast forward na ako doon sa you thought you were gonna die. At I remember nagpamigay rin kayo ng mga sandwich doon, di ba? Doon sa EDSA. Kanina nga tinanong ko si Sister kung kumain na siya. Sister, kumain na kayo? Ang sabi niya, yes, kumain na siya. Anong kinain po yung sandwich? Masarap ang chicken sandwich, Sister. At yun din yung pinamigay nila nung EDSA. Now, Sister, just try to summarize what happened to you, no? What was that near-death experience all about during the EDSA uprising? Why did you think you were gonna die?
Kasi nga, Marcos realized that he was losing the battle on ground. Dahil nga, the people could negotiate with the soldiers manning the tanks. Nakakausap nabibigyan ng pagkain, pinapakita ang krus, pinapakita ang Blessed Mother, pinapakita ang rosary. Our soldiers are Christians, no? They recognize the symbols of our faith. So talagang hindi nila makukonsensya to attack, no? So alam yun ni Marcos, natatalo na siya. So he decided to attack the people from above sa helicopter.
They attacked from above, no? There were helicopters above you.
Oo, dumadating na sila. The revolution actually was manned by the young ones. Sila may hawak ng megaphone Silang nagsasabi, nandito na, halina, o matulog na kayo, wala pa. So nung early, mga 2-3, sabi na, halina kayo rito sa EDSA kasi nakakalat ang mga tao, no? Natutulog sa kung saan-saan sulok. Nandito lang helicopter and then get ready. Talagang ready na kami really to die, no? And then sabi nga ng mga tao, mga sisters, mga pare, mga seminarians, diyan na po kayo sa harap para bang kami yung first line of attack. Dahil wala naman daw kaming maiiwang mga kamag-anak. Kami unang mamamatay. Tapos ayun nga, ang lapit-lapit na, people started na to pray. I confess to Almighty God. Yung iba nag-confession. Tapos may sumigaw pang, kantahin na natin ang Bayang Magiliw. Talaga na this is the end. Sabi naman nung isang, haba-haba naman yan. By the time natin matapos, ayan ang helicopter. So kumanta na lang siya. Ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo. And then, at the time, I was really very, very afraid. Ano? Pero at the same time, sinasabi ko, God, this is for the country. This is for the country. To our surprise, lumagpas sa amin yung helicopters. Lumagpas. Tapos, di nagulat kami. Ang nangyari, as I look at hindsight, siguro napaka-funny yung scenario na yun. Yung aatakihin, hinahabol yung aatake. We were following where the helicopters were heading. Takbo kami ng takbo. Sabi namin, saan sila pupunta? Tapos nakita namin, pababa na sila ng pababa until they landed in Camp Aguinaldo. Oo, Camp Aguinaldo. And then, that scenario will ever be seared in my memory. No? Nung naglabasa na yung mga soldiers, hawak nila ang white hankies, no? Yung surrender. At saka yung rifle nila, sa dulo ng rifle, yellow ribbon.
Mhm.
Then we knew, no, talagang they have defect. Tapos inakap sila ng mga tao. And the soldiers, awa rin kami sa kanila. They were young, no? Umiiyak sila, no? Pero siguro, ano rin sa kanila yung to disobey their commander-in-chief. Malakas ang chain of command, hindi sa military, no? So ayun,
Correct.
umiiyak sila. Iyak, akapan, iyak, ano. Pero at the same time, picture taking. Kahit mga umiiyak, sabi ko, hindi mawawala talaga ang picture taking sa Pinoy.
Oo.
Ayan, yun, that was parang, ngayon patawa-tawa lang, but when that was happening, it was really, we were really, I could not describe my emotions then. No? Miski ngayon, tumadaan ako doon sa lugar na yun, I really get emotional. Kaya parang nalulungkot ako pag nakakalimutan yung nangyari. As nalulungkot ako pag may nagde-deny na nangyari yun. That
Sister,
part of the history.
you were talking about picture taking a while ago. Behind you is a sacred picture as well, no? A sacred image to memorialize the event. So, this one, the painting behind you is a painting by who, sister?
But one of our sisters, no, our sister Elisea, she painted this. This is the Our Lady of Edsa.
Our Lady of Edsa. Ang ganda, no? Oo. And
Nandiyan ang mga figures, no? Si Cory, of course, mga madre, si Bacani, Bishop Bacani is here. Nandiyan si Freddy Aguilar, yung kanyang bayang ko.
Oh, nice.
Of
Kayo
course,
po ba nandyan?
alam mo naman kami mga FMMs, hindi kami pumuporma. Nandun siguro kami sa likod.
Oo. And sister, whenever you see that painting was presented to Cory Aquino, tama po ba?
No?
That painting was once presented to Cory Aquino.
This is a replica, no? Ang original was given to Cory as the congregation's gift.
Nice. And
Ngayon,
sister, whenever you look at that painting, how do you feel? Whenever you look at that painting behind you?
mixed emotion. First, tuwang-tuwa ako na yung nangyari yun, Tapos meron din akong nalulungkot if I look at the present. No?
Yes, sister.
Para bang nangyari ba yun?
Mm-mm.
But, of course, nangyari yun.
Mm-hmm.
Ang ating take dyan, EDSA for me was an act of God. Ang daming miracles na nangyari doon, no? Imagine we were able to topple a long-entrenched dictatorship in a bloodless way, non-violent way, prayerful way, and even festive way. Saan ka nakakita niyan in the whole world? A revolution that was very festive and happy with full, and you know, the the symbols of our faith played a crucial and a decisive role in that revolution.
Mm. Sister, before I ask the next question, baka po puwede na kayong bumalik sa upuan niyo, baka mahirapan
Babalik.
kayo sa ano, sa pagkakaupo ninyo.
Okay.
Oo, and that's a really, beautiful, painting, and I hope, we can see it, in person.
Yes,
Sister,
kailangan kayong bumisita dito sa Stella Maris to see this
oo,
painting.
sa Stella
Oo.
Maris, si Sister,
Stella Maris, wow.
sa Cubao,
Very,
yeah.
oo. Oo.
Sister Cho, having recounted what happened, in EDSA, why do you think, is the Philippines in uh, still in a place of corruption? Um, why are, Filipinos still, many Filipinos still in poverty? Many politicians are still corrupt. The situation seems hopeless when in fact you came from a, context where, I suppose you all felt so hopeful on that day, February 25, 1986. You were full of hope, and, you 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 saw promise. You saw a good vision for the country. What happened, sister?
What went wrong?
What went wrong?
First, okay, what went wrong in our country? Except for President Noynoy, the presidents that succeeded, that, that, that after Cory, no, they were enmeshed in massive corruption and scandals. And even, ayun nga, lately yung war on drug. Meaning, our our leaders did not inspire the people, no, to carry on the EDSA spirit. They betrayed, no. Ang dami nilang maraming scandal after that, no? Tapos yung post EDSA era is also the unashamed rise, yung bang dating ng mga dynasties. Ito yung mga nag-rule sa atin, no? Mga dynasties, and people there were they felt they were above the law. And so they acted with impunity. And also, the years following EDSA, yung mga na-elect na leaders din, mga sa Senate, ano, ang daming mga nasa showbiz. Parang, gone was the time of when the Senate was looked upon as an august body, no? People really of brilliance, of integrity, of really love for the country. Ayan, marami yung ganun. Tapos, ang church, how did the church contribute to the problem? Sad to say, marami tayong church leaders who solicited financial help from the corrupt politicians. And since utang na loob is deeply ingrained in us, of course, eventually they became beholden to their corrupt benefactors. to the extent that they even became supporters and apologists of their
Mhm.
benefactors. Iyan ang nakakalungkot.
Uh-huh. Do you see that firsthand, sister? Do you know of um do you remember some personal experiences with um church leaders who um do this? Have you tried to admonish them in some way, or um have you given them some reminder of
Naku, paano ka naman magre-remind sa mga bishops, no?
what do you mean, sister?
Yung nilapitan sana sila at inadmonish sila, will they accept that?
Mhm. Mhm.
Eh,
Hindi hindi po ba sinasabi nila na ano, we are now a synodal church, we are a listening church?
Noon yun. Ngayon lang naman nauso yung synodality na yan eh. Nung nangyari
Oo.
yan, no, sinong mga president noon,
Mm, mm,
after, yung mga yun, during that
mm,
time, sino sila? Gloria,
mm,
si Erap. Uso na ba noon ng synodality?
mm.
Hindi. And even with the synodality now, I tell you, ang mindset pa rin ng marami, no, is malayo yung reality of synodality.
There is much clericalism.
Yes.
Clericalism. For our viewers, we are referring to the practice of um, treating the clergy as ano ba, as royalty, hindi ba, sister? As royalty, or at the very least pampering them to a fault.
Yes.
Uso kasi 'yan sa Pinoy eh. Uso 'yan sa Pinoy eh pag darating si father, si bishop, kailangan laging maganda ang hain, kailangan espesyal,
Yeah.
'no? Talaga namang I mean, maganda rin namang espesyal yung ihahain mo sa lahat ng tao, no? But usually things like that are reserved only for VIPs.
Yes. And sana, no? Kasi we cannot take that away from the people, ano, yung very differential,
Gracious.
oo, ganun, ano. Sana rin yung mga tumatanggap ng mga entitlement, sana naman that will not be translated in their behavior.
Ah, correct,
Yung mga,
correct, correct.
example, if if a sister or a priest is treated as a VIP, sana they will not, their behavior should not be one of a VIP. But I know also of many, ano, marami akong nakikita rin na church leaders of this na pag halimbawa, kinukuha yung, usually yung kinukuha ng mga tao yung kanilang gamit para bang na ano. Tapos sinasabi, sige na ako na. Hindi nila basta ibinibigay yung gamit nila na parang mga marami silang mga, yung bang alalay.
Oo,
No?
correct.
Marami kasi diyan, maraming alalay. Pero meron din mga talagang, they carry their own things. Huh? Tapos, miski yung, halimbawa, siniserve ng merienda or ano, yung iba, siyempre yung mga tao, it's the father, or bishop, we will prepare your coffee. Yung gano'n, ano. May nakita rin akong mga pare at bishop sasabihin, thank you, pero ako na. Yung bang, they don't allow, yung mga ganun parang masyadong siniserve. No? But there are those also. Ako, binisita ako ng isang pare nung magme-merienda na tinanong ba naman ako, Sister, will you not prepare coffee for me?
Ha? Talaga ba?
Oo. Yeah. Sinabi ko, Father, please prepare your own coffee. Alam niyo yung inyong timpla.
Ah, but that's sad, ah. Um, and I think that's kind of related to what you mentioned a while ago na may mga pari na tumatanggap ng pabor galing sa mga kurakot na politiko, no? Kasi if you are used to that kind of lifestyle, if you
Mm-mm.
enjoy that kind of pampering from the faithful, of course, if a politician offers you that kind of VIP treatment as well, then you would accept. And it
Yes.
perpetuates the problem of corruption in politics. Kumbaga, ano eh, I just want our viewers to see that these are connected. Hindi ito, yung ganitong pinag-uusapan natin na clericalism in the church does not just affect the church. Tama po ba, sister?
Yes.
Oo, no? It affects the whole society.
Correct.
And
Correct.
that, that is one of the things that Sister Cho identified as uh, one of the reasons why we are in this state right now. Pero sister, syempre the bishops and the priests um, still occupy uh, important positions in the church. They form they form the hierarchy. They make up the
Yes.
hierarchy, and um, there are still people in the church who are looking for someone in the hierarchy who would speak up for them when it comes to politics. I am referring to Filipinos who are constantly looking for nasan ba yung katulad ni Cardinal Sin noong
Oo.
1986 na lumaban sa diktadurya. Matapang
Oo.
siya. Wala na raw ganyan ngayon. Sabi ng ilang o maraming mga Katoliko, rightly or wrongly, that is what we always hear. So, sister, how do you view this kind of sentiment from the faithful?
Hinahanap si Cardinal Sin?
Yes, yung ganun, yung naghahanap sila ng parang cardinal sin, yung para bang laging kailangan ko ng ganitong leader, no? Um, how do you feel when you hear sentiments such as that, sister?
Okay. First, siguro, let us be reminded of what Cardinal Sin stood for. At the time, no, yung bang Cardinal Sin stood up to the powers that be. No? I would like to cite two examples. No? First, just before the snap election, he issued a pastoral letter that was read in all the churches. And in that pastoral letter, very boldly, he stated that Marcos had lost moral ascendancy to govern our country. That was a very strong statement. No? And secondly, yun nga, ano, yung pastoral letter na yun, very strong yun, and it was read in all churches. And secondly nga, that clarion call to come to the rescue of two Marcos loyalists. No? And of course, ano, the people came. No? Parang si Cardinal Sin, yung bang, he was really, he was a strong, his was a strong voice of a prophet. After that, he, except for si Cardinal Ambo, no, still is strong, no? Meron siyang mga statements, no? Uh, pero nakikita ko rin na there are many prophetic voices. We cannot also parang aasahan lahat yung mga ganitong voices that stand up against the mga corruption. After nung lumabas, marami nang nangyari sa countries natin na ang dami ring mga statements coming from different congregations, schools, even from the laity, no? Na manifesting their stand against mga corrupt practices.
Mhm.
Ang wish ko lang sana there are more among our church leaders who who could speak who could speak for
Mhm.
for us in terms of bring in terms of bringing to the consciousness of our politicians yung kanilang mga kapalaluan.
Mhm.
Kasi para bang tumatahimik lang tayo, baka akala nila okay yun eh.
How do you view, sister, the call for may mga ibang namang obispo nagkasabi na it is time for more of the laity to speak up. Siguro kaya some bishops um, choose to be silent and just in the background. It's because they want the laity to um, take the lead and sila yung manguna. How do you view that perspective, sister?
Okay din yun, ano? Okay din yun, ano? Uh, that is what you call empowering eh. Empowering the lady to speak up, no? But
Mhm.
I don't think that should also excuse them from speaking out.
Mhm. What do you mean, sister?
Hindi nila pwedeng sabihin na ay ayan na ang mga lady sila na ang magsasalita. So it's the time of the lady, they have to speak up, no? Ganon. That's good. But they should not also para bang makakampante na because the lady are speaking. Tapos hindi na rin sila magsasalita. I
Mhm.
don't buy that.
Mhm. So, sister, in this context, what is the role of the bishop? What is the role of the laity?
So if we are speaking of synodality, di ba?
Yes,
Uh,
sister.
the synodal church, no? And the synodal church is the Catholic Church characterized by the journeying. Ito yung word ng ano eh, from the synodal document. The synodal church is the Catholic Church characterized by the journeying together of all its baptized members in the life and mission of the church through the
Mhm.
process of listening, dialogue, communal prayer. It is an active involvement and collaboration from the laity, from the clergy, from the religious.
Mhm.
Active collaboration, hindi yung parang sila na lang tahimik na tayo. It is a continuous, no, continuous active involvement and collaboration. That is the synodal journey.
Mhm. Mhm. Sama-sama pa rin, wag
Yes, but,
iiwanan yung mga laiko dun sa harapan, tapos sila na lang, hindi rin naman tama yon in your
no,
view.
no, no, no. Oo.
Oo.
And also, kahit anong sabihin, the lay people still look to the church as sources of strength and inspiration.
Ah,
Yan pa rin, yan ang ano eh, we are a Christian country eh, no? Kaya talagang kahit anong sabihin, humahanap pa rin ang mga the laity, no? They look up to the church as pillars, anchors of strength, inspiration.
mhm. And the church is represented by its leaders, especially the bishops.
Yes. Mhm.
Sister, in this context, what is the special role of consecrated men and women like you by the religious? What is the special role of the religious in a political situation such as ours?
Ang siguro lahat naman ito, pero siguro ang challenge talaga sa religious, we have really to witness to the primacy of God in our lives. To witness to the kingdom values, no? Especially in the midst of corruption, to the values of truth, honesty, integrity, accountability. Malakas sa akin ang hamon ng tawag to be witnesses by our lives.
Mhm, mhm. Sister, before I move to my last question, um,
Mm-mm.
I'm just curious about your thoughts about the 2028 presidential elections.
Okay.
If you don't mind, how do you feel about the prospect of a Sara Duterte presidency?
The, parang hindi ko na, para sa akin, hindi dapat mangyari.
Bakit po,
Because
sister?
para sa akin, the presidency of the father was a disaster. And to have the daughter to be president is a continuation of that disaster. Non-negotiable sa akin ang protection of the dignity of human person. The,
Mhm,
the, the, the life, no? Ano yan yung, yung mga katakot-takot na killing, no?
mhm,
How can you justify that, no? Tapos sasabihin nila useless naman yung mga yan sa society, kailangan they have to be eliminated. I don't buy that. Yun nga, grabe ang violence during the years of the Duterte administration, no? Napakaraming
mhm,
violence. Kahit sabihin nila na safe nang mag-ano dahil was it really safe to walk now during the times sa street dahil wala nang drug? At what expense? Safety at what expense? Ang daming pinatay at sa mga pinatay, ang dami namang hindi, talagang innocent. Okay? Now, with when another Duterte comes into power, I think that what happened during the Duterte administration will be continued.
Sister, who do you think would be the best candidate for 2028?
Eh, mamaya ma-accuse ako na nagka-campaign eh.
Hello, sister?
Oo. No,
Sister?
I don't want to name, lest I be accused of campaigning.
Oo
But
nga naman.
I tell you, the choice is not limited to two, the
Mhm.
Marcoses and the Duterte. The choice is not limited to only these two.
Aha, aha.
That is an insult to our country. No? Ang
Correct,
daming
correct,
qualified dyan.
correct. Sister, my last question to you. Um, you have worked with young people all your life. Your congregation runs a school. What is your message to the youth um, anniversary of the EDSA revolution?
What is my message?
To young people, if you were to address young people, what would you like to tell them the most now that the 40th anniversary of EDSA is coming up?
First, sana nabahaginan sila. Kasi we're in the context of EDSA, no? Sana nabahaginan sila the spirit of EDSA.
Mhm.
The spirit of sharing, solidarity, sacrifice, the spirit of love for the country, the spirit of upholding what is good and beautiful, no?
Uh-huh.
Sana ma-live out nila yan, no?
Mm.
At sana rin, they don't limit their yung source of information limited only to social media, no? Because social media ang dami rin diyang disinformation and misinformation tsaka mga fake news. Sana
Mhm.
they will look for other sources. Sana nga they have a conscience that can intuit the good from the evil. Yung siguro talagang ano rin yan, part din yan ng formation starting from home and then the
Mhm.
school. At hopeful ako kasi ang mga young ones, characteristic nila is to be, to dream of a better world, no? And tingnan nyo, yung nag-manage, yung nag-manage ng EDSA, mga sinabi ko, yung mga kabataan, sila ang nagmamartial. No? Sila ang nandoon, kailan susugod, kailan magpapahinga. Yun din sense of sacrifice nila, mga bata yun eh. Kasi
Mhm.
ang mga youth, ang lakas ng kanilang fidelity to a cause. If they believe in the cause, they are willing really to give it all. Kaya kung minsan yung mga, usually yung mga NPA, yung mga kung gusto nilang mag-recruit, they recruit from the young. Kasi ang mga young was very idealistic. No?
Mhm.
And when they are convinced, they will go for it.
Mhm.
So sana nga ang mga kabataan, ma-convince sila ng mga values that matter.
Thank you very much, Sister Cho, and thank you for sharing your wisdom. Um, I learned a lot, and I'm very sure the young people watching us learned a lot as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, at maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga nanood sa episode natin ngayon. Malapit na yung anniversary ng EDSA, 40th anniversary. Magkikita kami ni Sister Cho sa EDSA sa February 25, Sister. And siyempre inaanyayahan din natin yung marami sa mga nanonood sa atin na pumunta rin sa anniversary ng EDSA sa February 25. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagtitiwala. Ako po si Pater Nuez Maquel, ang inyong religion reporter. Kita-kits
Thank
ulit.
you. Thank you,
Sunod.
Pat.
Thank you, sister.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
God bless. God bless.
God bless po, sister. Thank you very much.
Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Mabuhay. Thank you, sister. See you
Okay.
po.
See you.
Ingat
See you
po.
see you on the 25th.
Yes. Thank you very much, sister. Abay po.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you, sister.
Good night.
Good night.